Hi all, RetroTech Chris here again. Recently I attended Vintage Computer Festival East 2022, which was held in Wall, New Jersey. There are several resources out there if you want to see some of the things that happened at the event. One of them is the Vintage Computer Federation Twitter page. Additionally, there are several live streams that were taken for each day of the event. Also, there is a VCF East Discord with many channels that covered all of the different talks, as well as areas for general chat that you'll definitely want to check out. Also throughout the day, I tweeted many pictures and different things going on, as did others, and I'm sure there will be plenty of videos to watch on VCF East 2022. So at this point, let's go ahead and have a look at some of the exhibits. From there, we'll have a look at some of the consignment items, and then I'll go ahead and wrap things up. Let's go. There were many great exhibits at VCF East. This exhibit on Tandy computers was one of my favorites. Look at all of those nice Tandy systems there, several Tandy 1000s, this nice TRS-80 Model 4, and a nice Panasonic printer next to it to boot, printing out a banner. I absolutely love the customized GoTech that you see here. It looks to be a great match for this system. And here we see a very unique Tandy, a Panasonic Business Partner 1650. And here we have a Tandy 1200, an XT clone through and through. Nice little system. And here I am getting rickrolled by a Tandy 1000 386 system. Here we have a nice little Tandy 102 portable. And here we have a 1000 RLX running the new print shop. Ryan Burke had a great display on Compaq and several other portables. First, we have an extremely portable IBM system here, next to a Compaq Portable Plus. And we can zoom in here and see that very nice green screen, hard disk, and floppy drive. And next to the Compaq is a Commodore SX64. Here we have a Sharp PC 7000, and it's next to an IBM 5155. With its nice, iconic orange display, hard disk, and floppy drive. And here we have a PS2 P70 with its nice gas plasma display. Always loved gas plasma monitors, they are so cool. And here we have a Dolch system with a very vibrant display. I just had to sit down and use it and type a few things, move the mouse around, and do a directory listing. A very nice little system. Here's a nice PS2 L40SX. And here we have a Compaq Portable 3 with a nice gas plasma. Next up we have Dan Fitzgerald's 5155 display. And we can see there's some nice literature associated with this, a basic 3.0 guide, a nice advertisement there. And here's the machine in all of its glory. I did sit down and try and use it with WordPerfect 5.1. Let's have a listen. How do we bring up that menu? I can't remember. The cutting up top, was it on?
No, it's all.
Just, I got blocked
It's all down arrow.
All down arrow? Okay. I got blocked on just control F4. So, F11, but we don't have on F3. What is it? I can't remember.
Let me see if I can.
Muscle memory. And after forgetting more than I remember, I eventually turned this over to N Commander to have some fun in WordPerfect 5.1. Dan also had this nice exhibit on the RIFA capacitor life cycle. You can see we go from brand new all the way to exploded. Kind of cool to see this and use it as a guide for your own RIFA caps and the condition they're in. Next we have behind the screens, and indeed it is time for your local forecast. Look at these nice rack servers here and the local forecast that is associated with the Wall, New Jersey area. Lots of equipment on display here. You can see a content delivery system at work here, pretty cool. And here you can see today's local forecast and all of the retro glory. Here we see the almanac, the weather star, lots of great displays. And here you see a TechScan character generator. It seems that every public access channel back in the day had one of these. And here you can see some TV listings scrolling along. So cool. Great to see everything here at the show. I absolutely love this exhibit. I love seeing it every time that this team brings it to the show. Many thanks to this team. Next we have Thomas Andrews with a display on Sony PlayStation debugging. And as we pan over here, we will see he has some source code here. And he's actually able to set breakpoints as we display items on the screen you see there on the left. Pretty cool, you can see us scrolling through the source code here. Definitely something I haven't seen before. Next we have an exhibit on the European clone invasion. I don't recall much about this exhibit, but I presume we're looking at a C-128 clone. In any event, the design looks pretty cool. Next we have a Xerox exhibit by the System Source Museum in Hunt Valley, Maryland. A few weeks ago, I did a tour on the museum, and for those who haven't been, I suggest you go, and for those who haven't watched the video, it's definitely worth a watch. Lots of great stuff there. And what we see here is a real piece of history, as we're looking at Xerox Alto systems. So very cool. And this system over here on the right has a mouse to go with it. Here we have another Xerox system with a graphical user interface. It's so cool to see these early systems. And here's another one that's more text-based. Pretty nice system to see. And there are some more sitting there on the floor on display. Next we have a wonderful exhibit on vintage handheld computers. And there are just a few of them. One of the advantages of a collection like this is you can put it all away in a nice tote when you're done looking at it for the day, or put it on display. It doesn't take up a lot of room like other things in the hobby. So here we have this nice libretto system. I just had to try and type on it. It is kind of hard to type on, as you can see me there trying to pop up the start menu. And here we have a 1 laptop per child. Pretty cool to see that at the exhibit here. And here we have a variety of other handhelds. Perhaps you'll see something that you're familiar with or catches your eye. Looks like there's some Apple devices there amongst others. There's that libretto again, and some other devices as well. BlackBerry amongst others. Pretty cool to see all of these. Lots and lots of PDAs and some handhelds that you can type on as well. Very nice. The signature Tandy 102 as well. Lots of different manufacturers here. I did see a Compaq as well, of course. So that was cool to see. Some HPs, NEC, lots of different brands represented here. Very nice to see this exhibit. I definitely enjoyed having a look. Here we have a TRS-80 development exhibit. I don't think I've ever seen a Model 1 that's this complete. As we pan over here to the right, you will see the development environment that's used to develop games for the TRS-80 Model 1. Definitely a nice system. I love that Vox box on the top, the voice synthesizer as well. Next we have RR Auction, who specializes in rare artifacts. And you can see their display here. And first we have this one item here, which I believe relates to space exploration, which is one of their themes in this little box here, little enclosure. And also there's this machine here that I believe was used to crack codes during World War II. Next we have the Mac Corner with several great Mac systems. We see a power computing system, a Flower iMac, a printer, which we will see more of in just a second here, and some other rare iMacs. Very nice little display here, and I did take the opportunity to get my photo taken and printed by none other than the photographer Mac84. Thank you. Also on the table is the Cursed Mac, running Flappy Mac. This is one of Action Retro's machines. And we can see a nice Apple display there as well, and an Apple IIe in a nice clear color case. Other systems here as well, a nice little Mac Color Classic. I love that trackball. Such a great display of Macs here at the show. Loved seeing them. And hiding in the back is a K-Pro system. Unfortunately, I didn't get a nice shot of it, but courtesy of Mac84, we were able to get this photo of the K-Pro. Next we have the Dial 1 for IT exhibit, which is really cool. Lots of different phones and answering machines all wired up here together. It's always cool to see people that are into the vintage phones and setting all this up. I think in total there were like 22 phones on display here or something like that. And in just a second we'll be able to hear them all ring together. But you can see if you pick up a phone here, it will dial a random answering machine. I love the variety of machines there, from tapes to digital. Next we have Japanese PC gaming from the late 80s to the early 90s. And look at the graphics on these systems. I always thought that the PC98 systems were ahead of their time. The graphics are just absolutely amazing on these. They do take special discs, as you can see here. It was cool to see these on display. And just one more close-up on those graphics. I absolutely loved seeing these systems. Next up is Retro Innovations, and you can see there is a storefront for Retro Innovations. And I didn't get a chance to talk to the owner here, but you can see lots of cool retro gadgets. Next we have Phoenix Retro Systems. And as we will see here, this is another case where old meets new. And the nice thing about this is we have folks that make new hardware that emulates older style systems once again. I'm not too familiar with these, but I was quite impressed with this little game that they have here for racing. Always cool to see these types of items. Next we have an exhibit on recreating the Amiga 4019 SCSI host controller. You can see the reproduction board at the bottom there. But not only that, there's also a reproduction box, and manual, and floppy disk. It's very cool to see when someone goes to the effort to make this degree of a reproduction. Next we have Amiga Bill's exhibit where he has pimped out his Amigas. Next we have Commodore 64 accessories, and I'll show you the table here. I didn't get a chance to talk to the owner, but it's cool to see. Next we have an exhibit on Commodore 1982, where, you guessed it, everything is from 1982. A Commodore 64, as well as a nice PET, as you will see here. Very nice condition, a CBM 8032. It's great to see this exhibit here, and it's pretty cool when you can have a theme from a particular year. Next we have Commodore Reborn. And in this exhibit you can see some Amiga systems. Very cool to see. I absolutely love seeing this exhibit. All of those boxes in the back, so very nice. You can see Attack of the Petsky robots running on one of the systems there. Next we have FujiNet. And FujiNet is really a great way to get your old system online. Here are some prototypes and older revisions of FujiNet. And we will then see the actual FujiNet 1.6, a cool little device. And we can see it in action on this nice Apple IIc actually. Next we have Weird Macs and Extreme Resurrections. And here you can see a variety of Macs. I love that flying toaster screensaver there. And you can see several of them running Doom, or Duke Nukem I guess it is. Great to see the exhibit. And in the center we have an Apple II, as well as some other Macs and a little printer there, and some other systems as well. Lots of very cool systems to see here in these two displays. I love that camouflage Mac there, and we have the system running Prince of Persia as well. Great to see these systems. And here we have a Mac that was buried in the ground, and this system definitely has a story associated with it. But here you can witness its unearthing. Here we have a PDP-11 display. Very cool to see these at the show. And here we have a Data General display. Look at that circuit board. And what we have here, I believe, is a laptop that's driving the Data General terminal that you see in the center there. Here we have an exhibit on core memory and the interactive Core 64. And you can see some displays of core memory there, as well as the Core 64 device. Always cool to explore technologies from the past, core memory being one of them. It's really quite fascinating. If you haven't read up on it, I really suggest you do. It's an interesting subject to learn about. The next exhibit focused on speech synthesis on 8-bit computers. And you can see a variety of 8-bit systems set up here, and folks were typing things in. Mostly nice, so that's always good to see and hear. Next we have an exhibit on Euro computers. And I don't know a lot about these systems, but once again it was cool to see them at the show. I did talk to the person manning the booth a little bit and learn a little bit more about them. And they were also in the process, as we will see here in a minute, of getting this system here to run. It's a cool looking system. Next, we have this exhibit on S100 review, and we can see here a nice IMSI 8080 system, as well as a terminal computer or two. Next is an exhibit on the Selectric typewriters, and we can see several of these. These things are truly beasts. Nice to see these at the show. And here we have televideo, and I'm very impressed by the graphical output of some of these systems. We see a variety of different televideo systems. We can see this one running in a mad loop, just trying to keep up, saying hello as often as possible. But have a look at this. Look how cool the graphical output is on this particular system. Very nice to see these, as well as this iconic televideo system here. After seeing all of these exhibits, I decided to wander over to the Glitchworks area and have a look and see what people were building. And I was not disappointed. As I looked around, I saw different folks working on different projects, doing some soldering. It was very cool to see people assembling these nice Glitchworks products. And next door to that, there was an Apple IIe classroom. Wow, this brings back memory to see so many Apple IIes in the same place. Let's take a few minutes and tour the consignment and sales areas. There were a couple of sales areas within the main exhibits. Here you can see a lot of different cards. I did grab a $5 VGA card. We'll look at that later. There was also some boxed software and several hardware devices for sale. Is that a printer in the corner? But anyway, it was cool to see all the different items for sale by this particular vendor. If you're into big box software, this is the vendor for you. Just look at all of the different titles, and as I was here, people were definitely shopping and picking up things and buying them. I decided to pass this time, but it was cool to see all of the box software on display. Now over to the main consignment area, where you see a variety of things for sale. Everything from manuals to disc boxes to toner cartridges, to hard drives to power supplies, to monitors, PCs, lots of different items available here to purchase. Pretty cool to see all of this. And here we can see a steering wheel if you want that as a controller. Looks like a CB radio, other systems as well, lots of things for sale, some laptops, even a compact laptop or two, though I didn't pick any of those up today. I think I have plenty of those. A little gateway system and a Dell tower, lots of different things here, some manuals, and there was the free pile, and I did contribute to it. We will see in a minute that I took home that laser printer you see there. Nobody did pick up the scanner you see on the floor there. And fortunately, almost everything was taken except for that scanner, as I noted. And here we have Mac84. What is he buying now? Here we see a motherboard for sale and a box of new old stock 360K discs, $10 a pop if that's what you want. Also lots and lots of zip drives and other items as well, some optical drives. Here we have a pretty decked out Macintosh Plus next to some towers. I love that in-wind case. It was $300. I see some Dell systems and a beautiful Tandy 1000SX. It did not last. And here we see a PC98 on the shelf, a TRS-80, as well as some disk drives as we see here, a Coco 3. And here you see some monitors, as well as a 386 system on the right there. It was $300. And you can see some other items as well, a rack mount system and some keyboards. Here we have some software and some IBM PC convertible power supplies. I did pick one of those up. And here we have some Commodore items, and I believe a Coco as well. And here we have bins and bins of memory, as well as some other items, I think a power supply and some other items too. Across the top were MacBooks as far as the eye can see, all lined up with their power adapters. And here we have Operation 8-bits display. You can see some Cocos, a monitor, a printer, lots of great items. And here's a Tektronix terminal and a Zenith system. All in all, it was a great visit. We saw many machines and we got to hang out with many great people. And everybody is so fun to hang out with, so hilarious. Great shot here. of everybody. And we also have a nice picture of us all together here. It was just so great to see everyone at the show. I got to see my friend Tony from Operation 8-Bit. We've been chatting online forever and finally got to get together. It was great to see you. It was great to see Thomas Andrews again. He's been on the channel before. As well as some folks from my local DC area retro computing group. Great to see you guys. And I also got to catch up with Paul, who shares my love of compact systems. And I did bring a few items home. A big thank you to Tony from Operation 8-Bit for this very nice Zenith Data Systems 286 portable. We'll be seeing that in the future. And as noted, I also did pick up this $5 Realtek based VGA card. We'll have to check that out together in a future video. And here we see a LaserJet 4 Plus that was sitting on the free table. Before too long, it ended up in my car and I took it to my parents' place. And also a big thank to Mike from Mike's Mac Shack for this lovely Packard Bell Legend system. I'm very excited to explore it. All in all, I had a great time. Thank you to everyone for putting on the show and for everyone who I hung out with, and I look forward to seeing you next year. Thanks for watching.